She kills her lover on the altar of a foreign goddess. It is the month of beginning, and the valley is flat and green. The sanctuary stands in the darkening sky with no attendants in sight. Desito walks past the temple's columns. In her arms, her baby stares with eyes as big and bright as moons. Don't worry, Desito thinks. It will be over soon. She finds him in the main chamber, his body shrouded in shadows. The muscles in his shoulders tense as he polishes the altar with loving care, as if it were a woman he had under his hands, not a piece of stone. He turns when he hears her. His expression is torn between panic and pity. She can't help but remember the wonder his eyes held the first time he saw her. "Is this all you feel for me now?" she wants to ask. Instead, she holds the baby towards him. "This is your child." "You can't do this, Desito," he says. "You can't haunt me. You must live without me." "I can't." She knows she is weak. All her life she has walked in the darkness, fearing every shadow, every spirit. He was her only light, until he pushed her away, and her world grew cold again. Somehow, she can't find the light within herself. "Don't you want to hold your child?" She is aware of the desperation in her voice, but it doesn't matter. There is no dignity left in her. He blinks. "That is no child of mine." Suddenly she is furious, her pulse throbbing. "You won't leave us behind." She walks closer until their faces are only inches apart. He tries to push her back, but she shoves the baby into his arms. He takes her, despite himself, wincing when the baby starts to cry. For a moment, his face softens, a glimpse of affection. Desito takes a knife out of her vest, the one she found outside the temple, used by votaries to sacrifice pigs and doves. He doesn't have time to react. She stabs the blade into his chest, and they cry out in unison, as if both were wounded. Blood flows between them, wetting his white tunic and her dark dress. The knife stands in his chest, like an evil limb. He looks at the blade in shock. "This is my goddess punishing me," he whispers. "No," Desito says. "This is me punishing you." Her tears fall on his cheeks. He stretches one shaking hand towards her, touches her hair before burying his face in it. The memory is like a burning brand pushed through Desito's head. She welcomes it. She wants to remember there was a time when she thought she could be happy. And she wants to remember how she lost it all. The first thing he had ever said to her was, "Your hair is made of waves so dark they seem cut from the night sky." Men had often told her she was beautiful, but their words were empty, spoken to please themselves and their pride. He seemed to speak from the heart. He wasn't interested in her reaction. He spoke as if he felt the need to say what he thought. That was why she didn't walk away from him. Outside the sanctuary, he was cleaning the statue of a woman, naked except for a tunic draped across her hips. So detailed and beautiful, it was hard to believe it was made of stone. Behind him, a temple with columns like long, pale legs. "Did you sculpt this?" Desito asked, for she had never seen such a beautiful statue. "I did." "His gift is a wonder," she thought, "almost equal to a god."